2024 has been an incredible year for anime, but which anime was the best one that I watched this year? I compiled a list of every single anime I watched that came out this year and rated them from worst to best. Now I will say I didn't watch every single anime that came out this year because how on earth would I have time to do that? Especially since I started a new podcast in which I watch retro anime, so I was catching up on a lot of the old stuff like Flame Eureka, Hajime no Ippo, things of the sort. But I watched 17 different anime that came out this year. Some of them were absolutely flames, and some of them, well, we'll talk about those. Now, I do want to give an honorable mention to some of those anime that I didn't get a chance to watch, but I heard are fire. I really want to check out Delicious in Dungeon. I know absolutely nothing about what it's about, but everyone said that it was one of the best anime to come out this year, and I just did not get a chance to check it out. I also really want to check out Elusive Samurai. People said that one is fire. Oh, and the Suicide Squad Isekai that came out. I did not watch that, and I want to get into it. So hopefully I find some time to catch up on those before we get into the new year 2025 and see the new bangers that year has coming for us. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this list. In last position, 17th place, the worst 2024 anime that I watched is Ninja Kamui. Now, I will say this. They had me in the first half. When Ninja Kamui first started, I just knew that this was gonna be a banger. The animation was fire. The character was a fire. I've been complaining for years that we don't get enough ninja anime because when you think ninja anime, you think of Naruto. So nobody really makes them that frequently. And we had one that was coming out and it was incredible. It gave us a good depiction of ninjas. It was awesome for 3 episodes. And then episode like 4 or 5, they decided to turn it into a mech anime. Here's the thing, I don't have any issue with mech anime. I actually like mech anime quite a lot. But 1, it was a CGI mech anime, and y'all know how I feel about CGI. And 2, that's not what this show was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be a show about ninjas. Why are we in giant robots fighting? This doesn't make any sense. It ruined the whole plot of the show for me. If they would have just stuck to their guns and didn't flip the switch on us, Ninja Kamui probably could have been way higher on this list, but I have to put it in the last place position because why would they do that? Next up in the 16th place position, I'm sure if you know me, you could have guessed this anime was gonna be here. It's Windbreaker. I'm gonna be 1000% honest with you guys. I never gave Windbreaker a fair chance. If you know me, you know I hate Tokyo Revengers. I think it is absolutely terrible. And I didn't even want to start Windbreaker because it looked super Tokyo Revengers-y, but everybody kept saying,
it's not like Tokyo Revengers, it's not like Tokyo Revengers, you might like it, check it out.
So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. I'll see what it's hitting on. And I checked it out. It was like Tokyo Revengers. I'm gonna be honest. It felt like Tokyo Revengers. It looked incredible. The fighting was super good. But in terms of depth, it just wasn't there. It seemed like reskinned Tokyo Revengers without the time powers. And I'm not gonna say I'm anti-delinquent anime because I like some delinquent anime, but if it feels like Tokyo Revengers, I just can't enjoy it. And I will fully admit my bias and say, it was just too Tokyo Revengers-y for me, had to go in 16th place. In the 15th position, we have another anime that I was super excited for. I thought it was gonna be incredible, but it let me down. It's Go Go Loser Ranger. When I tell you I was so hyped for this show, like I wanted this show to be good so bad. I love Power Rangers. I love the boys. And this felt like it was gonna be the boys and Power Rangers combined. I was super excited. First off, it was 3D animated. I don't like 3D animated anime. It just doesn't feel like anime to me. But besides that, I just didn't care. It never truly grabbed my attention. The first episode, I was excited. I was like, this is cool. I'll see what it's gonna do. But it just never did that for me. I never fell in love with, I think his name was Fighter E or F or D. I don't even remember his name. That's how much I just didn't care. I never got locked in. The Dragon Keepers were all extremely shallow characters. There wasn't any depth. It just never got me. It never pulled me all the way in. I think I dropped it after episode 5 or 6. It never caught me all the way. It didn't do what it needed to do. I'm very glad I dropped it. I feel like it would have been a waste of my time. So yeah, it's going in the 15th position. In the 14th position is an anime that I feel might not deserve 14, but I'll explain to you why it's here. It's Wisteria Wand and Sword. This show was very good. The animation was incredible. I liked all the characters. I liked all the story. I liked the power system. I really did like pretty much everything about this anime. My only issue is I liked it a lot, but I've also seen it a lot of times as well. The powerless character is in a world where he doesn't fit the power system. He doesn't have it, so he finds another way to fight around it. It's Black Clover, it's Mashal, it's a billion other anime I've seen before, and it just bored me. It's really good. It's just as good as a lot of those other shows, but I've just seen it too many times to get fully invested in it once again. I kind of like to see something more original than that. All the episodes I watched I enjoyed, but I think I dropped it at about episode 5 or 6 just because of the lack of originality. Like, I could have kept watching Wisteria, or I could have just went and watched Black Clover. So yeah. Next up, in 13th place, we have That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 3. God, this anime disappointed me so much. If you would have asked me at the end of 2023, what were some anime that I'm most excited about, I would have said Slime Season 3 because I love Slime Season 1. I love Slime Season 2, but Season 3 just fell so flat for me. I used to say slime was in the big 3 of isekai: Konosuba, Jobless and That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. I was in love with this show. But when this season started, it was nothing but dialogue. And I know what you guys are gonna say.
You just want fights, you want shooting, you want action, blah, blah, blah.
No, that's not even the case. A lot of the anime I like, a lot of anime that are above this one on the list, all aren't just about fights and all that, but it was just sitting at a table talking. There are better ways to give us exposition and teach us more about the world than just sitting at a meeting table having meetings for 7 episodes. Come on, 7 eps? If you've ever taken an English class in your life, your teacher has told you, show, don't tell. And all they did at the beginning of this season was tell. And I kept watching and I got past that tell part and started seeing the show. But even the showing part just wasn't truly catching my attention, and I just kind of fell out of love with the show. I saw them create the dungeon. I saw them make the Coliseum. I rocked with the show for a while, but there was just nothing bringing me back to watch the new episodes week after week because, frankly, I just didn't care anymore. I still have love for the show, and by no means do I think season 3 is bad. I just got disconnected and it wasn't for me. Next up, in the 12th place position, we have Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc. I will say, the reason why this is so high, it's leaning heavily on the final episode. That final episode carried the season for me. It was incredible. Watching all the Hashira going down into the Infinity Castle, getting ready to fight Muzan, seeing the leader of the Demon Slayers blow his house up, it was all crazy. But the stuff before that, it was cool, but this season kind of did just feel unnecessary to me. It didn't feel like this season had a point. I felt like with having a whole arc about the Hashira and Tanjiro going to see each one, it gave us a unique opportunity to meet the Hashira that we haven't met before and create a deeper bond with them. And I feel like we just didn't really do that. I feel as though for the most part, everything that they established in this season could have been established by them just telling us, hey, Tanjiro spent some time training and that's why he's stronger now. If they would have just said that, we could have cut all this out. We just didn't really need it, in my opinion. Now, I did appreciate getting more backstory on Giyu Tomioka and learning more about his stuff. I appreciated that a lot, but can we really justify a whole season just for that? I don't feel like I can. I don't think this season was necessary, and that's why it's so low down on this list. I am excited for the Infinity Castle arc. I want to see what that's like, because season 3 fell flat for me. Season 4 fell flat for me, but it seems like this next part upcoming is going to be on the same levels as season 1 and 2. So I want to start loving Demon Slayer again, but I haven't loved Demon Slayer in a long time, and I hope that this can bring us back into it. Next up, in the 11th place position for best 2024 anime, we have Solo Leveling. I know a lot of you guys are not gonna agree with this. I know for a lot of you guys, you think that Solo Leveling should be in the top 10, top 3, maybe even top 1. But for me, no, it's just not, no. Now I will say this, Solo Leveling was cool as fuck, but there wasn't much more than being cool as fuck. I thought it was awesome how he got the screen and he basically got to live life as if it was a video game, leveling up, getting XP, doing missions. All that was super cool. The fight scenes were all incredible, super cool. The choreography, cool. The animation, cool. Everything was cool. Cool isn't enough for me. I need something more. I need a reason to care. I don't feel connected to Jinwoo or any of the characters in the show. Personally, I don't care much about the story because at this point in time, there really isn't any story. Now, I know that this comes from a webtoon that has hella chapters, so hopefully this was kind of all just a setup to get into the actual story and everything that matters. And I am pretty excited for season 2, so hopefully I can get into that. But the cool aspect just isn't enough for me. It was all right. I enjoyed it. It was cool, but there are a lot of anime that came out this year that have way more than just cool to it that rank higher up on the list than this show. I'm sorry to all the Solo Leveling fans, but 11 is as high as I could justify. All right, let's get down to the top 10. Now, every single anime in the top 10, they're all good. They're all good. So even if it sounds like I'm hating, I promise I'm not. I'm telling y'all now, I think all these anime are good. That's why they're in the top 10. In the 10th place position for best 2024 anime, I got My Hero Academia season 7. Now, I will be honest. This was probably one of my lesser enjoyed seasons of My Hero Academia. I loved seasons 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 was a little shaky. 6 was awesome. 7, it's good, but I don't love it as much a lot of those other seasons. Now, I will say this season had a lot of really high highs. There were moments where I was out of my seat, turned up, excited. But there were also a lot of moments where I just did not give a single fuck. There were parts that were kind of just like boring or convoluted, or I felt like I just didn't really need it. And that's why it's in the 10th place and not high. Like all the other seasons would have got way higher than this. But like Endeavor versus All for One, Bakugo vs. Shiggy, the Big 3 vs. Shiggy, New Order vs. Shiggy. There were some crazy fights this season and some crazy moments this season that I loved. I didn't care about any of the stuff with Deku. I feel disconnected from Deku at this point in the story. Him and having a whole bunch of quirks and all that, I just don't feel like it was necessary to the story. I don't feel like I needed it. Finding out Gear Shift was his last quirk didn't really do much for me. The Uraraka and Toga stuff was so boring and annoying. I didn't give a damn about that. There was a lot of stuff that I just didn't care about. Oh, almost forgot the All Might fight. All Might versus All for One. That was also another good fight. There were a lot of good fights that happened this season. There were a lot of good moments that happened this season, but I do feel like it just isn't of the same quality that season 6 had or any of the other seasons, to be honest with you. I did really enjoy it though. I'd probably give this season like a 7.5. Next up, in the 9th place position, I have Dandadan. Dandadan is a combination of a shonen and a rom-com. To be completely honest, I don't really care about the shonen aspect, but the rom-com aspect is flames. If it was up to me, I could do without the aliens and the yokai and all that stuff. To me, it's just weird and I don't really care. The action is cool, but what I really watched this show for is Okarun and Ayase's relationship and kind of watching them have these awkward interactions and trying to express their feelings, but then they can't do it. And then they added in Ira, which is just another aspect of roadblocks that are in their way. I love that part of the show. That part of the show is great. Not to mention it has some pretty good comedy, which I enjoy a lot. It's a really good show. I'm not crazy about the weird essay stuff they put in there sometimes, and like, I don't know, there's a lot of weird moments in the show, and that's probably why it's so low on this list. If it didn't have that, it probably would have ranked a lot higher. I like Dandadan a lot though. I love it, and I just want more of their relationship. That is what keeps me watching this show. Next up, in the 8th place position, we have Classroom of the Elite Season 3. Full transparency moment here. This could have potentially ranked higher, but it came out like the first week of 2024, and I kind of forgot a lot of it. If I'm just being honest, there are parts that I just don't remember. I really liked it. I was hyped to watch every single new episode. I loved watching the class leader versus Ayano Koji, seeing those mental gymnastics and everything that was going on with that. And I'm super excited to see what happens now that Ayano Koji basically has to go toe-to-toe with his dad. Like, there's so much that's gonna be fantastic, and I'm super hyped. I love this season a lot, but I just don't remember a ton of it. I remember liking it a lot though. Don't know if they made an announcement when season 4 is coming out, but show is fire. Next up, in the 7th place position, we have Tower of God season 2. To be frank, the animation is holding it back in the rankings. If season 2 looked like season 1, this probably could have made it in the top 5, maybe even the top 3. Who knows? Because the story is incredible. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't need the animation to be fire. I need the story to be great, but I need the animation to do a little something to make it into the top 5. And the animation not really doing nothing right now. But Bomb becoming Viola was a crazy twist. I fell in love with Wangnan and his whole new team. Yeon, Akraptor, Kang, all of them are awesome. Kun's new team, seeing Ron and Novik, they're awesome. Getting to see the old team once again, they're awesome. The twist of Fug being in control of literally everything. Every new episode is fire. We get new information. We find new characters that we like. We hate characters that we hated even more. Rachel and the whole Dawn thing was insane. That was one of the most evil things I've ever seen in my life. And even though I hate Rachel and she's my most hated character, I love that I hate Rachel. They're doing a great job. I will say the workshop battle is a little confusing, but this season has been fire all around. I just wish the animation was a little bit better. That's really what's holding it back from making it in the top 5 position. Speaking of bad animation, in the number 6 position, we have Blue Lock season 2. A lot of y'all think Blue Lock should be lower? Sue me. I don't give a fuck. I love Blue Lock. Even though the animation garbage, it's still hitting. I still get excited every week. I still get out of my chair. The moments still hit. Yes, do I wish it looked better? Of fucking course I do. We all do. But it's still fantastic. The story is still there. The progression is still there. The hype is still there. I just wish that the animation and the budget was still there. But at the end of the day, we still get what the show is all about. Watching them prep for U20 was great. Seeing Isagi get his moment, put everything together and get into that hypnotized state, crazy. Watching Reo get his awakening. Reo's one of my favorite characters. So seeing his awakening was crazy. Once we got into the U20 match, Nagi's goal, to see him bounce it off his foot, do a damn near half backflip and smash it into the net. Dog, how can you not get lit? And then we got the Rin versus Sei beef, which is going on. Sei don't really give a fuck. He just balling out regardless. Rin doing all he can to keep up with his brother. This shit is flames. This season is flames. Yes, I wish it looked better, but god damn it, this shit is good. I can't wait to see the rest of this U20 game, and I pray that season 3 gets a higher budget and it looks incredible because the movie looked great. Episode Nagi looked fantastic. I wish they didn't make the movie and they just put that budget into season 2. I would have preferred that. Even though the movie was some flames, I would have preferred this budget to go toward this, but hopefully they find the money for season 3 to look fantastic because this show deserves it. Time to get down to the top 5 best 2024 anime. In the 5th place position, we have Konosuba season 3. Konosuba never fails to make me laugh. It is debatably the funniest anime I've ever seen. Every single episode is gonna have a joke that will literally make me laugh out loud in a room by myself. And beyond just comedy, it also has incredible action and adventure. When the whole town came together to beat that Hydra, it was great. Seeing Kazuma infiltrate the fortress, there were so many moments where the action was still top tier and hitting. And then the thing about Konosuba that you don't really expect is it's also a very heartwarming, like loving anime. Watching their team aspect come together in the way they love each other, especially this season with Darkness leaving the group and them having to go find her and bring her back to the place that she belongs. It was really good and really heartwarming. And this was a great season. Was it my favorite season? Probably not. I think I do like seasons 1 and 2 better, but season 3 was still fire. I give this like an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even a 9. Every week I was so hyped for the new episodes, and I'm still hyped for season 4. It was great. I loved it. It was super good. It definitely deserves to make it into the top 5 position for sure. In the 4th place position, we have the new anime, Kaiju No. 8. This was an incredible new anime. I loved it. Kaiju No. 8 might be the most shonen anime in the game, but it was still fire. Kafka is extremely lovable, but still badass. The ensemble and the cast was so great. Ichikawa, Hoshina, Shinomiya, Mina. You literally find so many characters that you can attach to and enjoy, and they all are super action-packed. They have their own individualized traits and aspects. I think that this show has the potential to be one of the best new gen. If it can continue and find a little bit more depth and things like that, I think this could be one of the best new gen to come out in the last like 5 years. Not to mention, Kaiju No. 8 probably had the greatest 3-episode run of the entire year. Honestly, one of the best 3-episode runs I've seen in I don't know how long. Episode 9, 10, and 11 was straight gas. From the moment it started to the moment it ended, that shit had you turned 1000%. I am so hyped to see where it goes from here. Kaiju No. 8 was an absolute smash hit. It's time for the top 3, and I'm gonna be honest, all 3 of these 2024 anime are probably a 9 or even a 10. These anime were incredible. I absolutely love them, and if you haven't seen them, you need to find some time to go watch it. In the 3rd place position, we have season 2 of Shangri-La Frontier. Shangri-La Frontier was probably one of the biggest curveballs I've ever seen. I did not expect an anime about a bird head man running around playing video games to be one of the best anime I've watched this year. One of the best anime I've watched, period. Shangri-La Frontier is literally Sword Art Online done correctly. And I love Sword Art. Sword Art is one of my favorite anime. This is what Sword Art should have been. Shangri-La is an incredible world. Watching all the lore, all the backstory, the adventure, the technology, everything that goes into the world is so fucking cool. And seeing Sunraku run through this world as a gamer is so fire. Because as a gamer myself, it's really cool to see a world that's a video game that shows what it's like to really play a video game for the love of it. Sunraku is going to get those unique scenarios. He wants to get the collector's items and do the side missions and have fun. He's really just having a great time this entire time. The cast is awesome. I love all the characters. The part that I really like is seeing the alliance between them and watching all the different debates that Pencilgon is having, trying to make new alliances and scheme and plan. This season is fantastic. It is so fire. I'm telling you, if you have not watched Shangri-La Frontier, please take some time to go watch it because it is so good. You would never expect it to be as good as it is. It is such a sleeper hit. If you enjoyed Sword Art Online, or if you don't like Sword Art Online and you like the premise of Sword Art Online, go watch Shangri-La Frontier because it's literally Sword Art Online done better. Now, I had a really tough time deciding what was going to be in the 2nd place position and what was going to be in the 1st place position. But I had to put my bias aside and be completely honest with myself. It hurts me to say this, but in the 2nd place position is Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Part 3. I am a Bleach super fan, and this core has given us nothing but straight flames from episode 1 to now. Every episode has been something different. It's been hit after hit after hit. Aizen is my favorite villain in all of anime, and my boy is back. And we watched him turn up sitting from a chair. This man is crazy. Renji, one of my favorite characters, but he's always been sorry. All Renji does is lose fights and get his ass kicked, but he turned up, he found out the true name of his Bankai, and turned up with So Ozabimaru. Now, did he win? No, he didn't. He still lost. But he turned up and he's debatably in the top 5 strongest Soul Reapers out right now. And then even the emotional aspect. Oryu used to be one of my favorite characters, and now I hate that man. Those emotions that come with it are crazy. This season has been all hype, and we haven't even seen Ichigo's new Bankai yet. That just goes to show how crazy this season has been, how much flames have been in this season. Every single week, I'm so mad that I have to wait another week to see what comes out next. Oh my God, this season was good. Honestly, I'd probably get this season a 9.5 out of 10. It was fantastic. It had almost everything I needed. Shit was flames. But in the first place position for best 2024 anime, I know this is gonna ruffle some feathers, but I had to be honest with myself, is Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 Part 2. Jobless Reincarnation gets a lot of hate, and a lot of that hate is warranted. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's not. Rudeus has a lot of issues and a lot of hate is well deserved, but I do make sure to call out the issues when I see them, especially on my podcast and stuff. But you watch the show in spite of Rudeus being a weirdo and watching him grow from being a weirdo to actually being a kind of good person. If you get it, you get it, but this season was crazy. The emotions that came with this season are crazy. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, but them killing Rudeus's dad, Paul, on Father's Day had to have been one of the craziest curveballs I have seen, especially Paul dying in order to save Rudeus's mom is nuts. And then watching the way that Rudeus is reacting to it, because Rudeus don't even know his mom for real. Bro never really connected with her, but he connected with Paul, so losing Paul was crazy. Even outside of that, watching him get an actual relationship with his sisters, seeing Norn go through all that terrible bullshit with wanting to be a shut-in and be by herself, and Rudeus reaching out to her and them creating a real relationship and a brother-sister relationship. It's been such a good season. It has been so fire, and I'm so hyped to see what happens next from here. And then that's not even to get into the drama of him picking up a second wife, and oh my God, this season was so fire. It was, honestly, objectively, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. It was straight flames. But that's the list. There have been some incredible anime that have come out in 2024. If you've made it this far, put in the comments what you think the best anime of 2024 was, and make sure to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and hit that noti bell. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, even though it is really long. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.